While Republican candidate Donald Trump is courting Arab and Muslim community leaders to secure their support come Election Day, the Democrats, on the other hand, seem to be barely trying to reach out to this demographic. Feeble attempts at appealing to Arab and Muslim Americans include New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's early voting flyers featuring incomprehensible Arabic text written backwards, and deflecting criticism by arguing that yes, the Democrats might be helping Israel kill Palestinians, but that they are better than Trump.
If you're a Muslim American and you're upset about what's happening in the Middle East, why would you put your faith in somebody who passed a Muslim ban and repeatedly suggested that somehow you weren't part of our American community?
And one more time.
When I read that people in Michigan are thinking about not voting because they're mad at the Biden administration for honoring his historic obligation to try to keep Israel from being destroyed, I think that's a mistake, because Donald Trump has shown what he wants.
1 week effort after another has left disillusioned Muslim and Arab Americans wondering if Democrats are even trying to earn their votes, or if they're just paying lip service, expecting blind loyalty in return. For decades, Muslim American voters have tended to vote for the Democratic Party, often due to the blatant hatred and racism of their Republican opponents. However, in the eyes of the Muslim and Arab community in the US, there is no longer a lesser evil to choose from.
Both despicable candidates, we cannot vote for them. We cannot, with having a right conscience, vote for either genocider. One enabled the genocide, the other says go and finish the job.
Despite making up just 1% of the US population, every Muslim vote matters due to the concentration of Muslims in swing states, where elections are often decided by narrow margins. In the 2020 presidential elections, 65% of Muslim voters in swing states cast their votes for Joe Biden, ultimately handing him a critical victory in these key battleground states. Overall, 83% of Muslims across the country voted for Joe Biden. But this year, as an increasing number of voters in this crucial base view Democrats as being complicit in Israel's ongoing genocide in Palestine's Gaza, the Democratic Party can't afford to take any chances by relying on Muslim Arab endorsement without making an effort to win their votes.
They don't care about us. I don't care about either. So I'm not voting for either. For now, 1,000,000% I'm not voting for Harris because she's guilty in a genocide. She's supporting the funding. She goes on public TV, they send text messages saying, I'm pro-Israel, I'm supporting Israel. They're saying, I'm supporting the killing of your people. Why would I vote for her?
The loss in trust and skepticism of the Democratic Party is not difficult to grasp. The Biden administration, with current vice president and presidential candidate Kamala Harris following in its footsteps, has made its staunch support for Israel very clear. While Harris is attempting to play to the tune of both sides, pro-Palestinian US citizens are seeing through the superficial empathy. On one hand, Harris has often echoed support for a ceasefire in Gaza.
With respect to the war in Gaza, President Biden and I are working around the clock because now is the time to get a hostage deal and a ceasefire deal done.
Keep in mind, this was already almost a year into the war on Gaza.
And let me be clear, I will always stand up for Israel's right to defend itself, and I will always ensure Israel has the ability to defend itself.
But in the same breath, Harris consistently maintains her support for Israel, showing no willingness to hold Tel Aviv accountable for the atrocities it has been committing in Gaza, making her talk of working for a ceasefire seem disingenuous. Any hopes of concrete changes in US policy towards Israel are tempered by the millions of dollars raining down on the Harris campaign by none other than pro-Israel lobby AIPAC. So with a large group of Arab and Muslim Americans unwilling to vote for either Harris or Trump, third parties are rising in popularity. Enter the Green Party, and specifically Jill Stein, a Jewish candidate known for her pro-Palestine stance and an outspoken critic of Washington's support for Israel.
The U.S. is funding the weapons actually providing the weapons as well as military funding. We are providing diplomatic cover, and as Commander-in-Chief, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, as his Vice President, have enormous authority over the conduct of this war and the mere fact of its existence, because they can simply refuse to transfer the weapons and the aid.
Pro-Palestine movements like the Abandon Harris campaign are rallying support for Stein and hoping their discontent will take the presidential win away from Harris.
American Muslims are horribly disappointed with the direction of American foreign policy. We want to see change. We want to see candidates that voice change. And unless they hear something different, their votes aren't going to be going where they normally go.
A poll conducted in September by the Council on American Islamic Relations Advocacy Group showed that in Michigan, home to a large Arab American community and a key swing state, 40% of Muslim voters back Jill Stein. As Arab and Muslim American voters shun Kamala Harris, the results of the 2024 elections will conclusively indicate whether the Democratic Party should have paid more attention to their demands.